Hi Rocketeers, thanks for joining me for another lesson. Today we are going to learn how to recognize and write our name. So when you start school, it is so important that you know how to write your name because you're going to be creating so much exciting work that you want to show off to everyone. And in order for people to know whose work it is, it has to have your name on it. So before we learn how to write our name, we need to learn how to recognize our name. When you go to school, there's going to be names everywhere on name tags, on the attendance sheet, and you need to be able to find which one is yours. So I'm going to show you some skills, some strategies that you can use to figure out which name is yours. So my last name is Bott. I'm Mrs. Bott, and I need your help to figure out which of these names is mine. So this is my list of names. Keep my last name in your brain. Bott. Everyone say Bott. Good. Luckily, it's short and easy. When you're looking for your name, you need to think about what sounds you hear, especially at the beginning and the end of your name. So Bott. What sound do you hear at the beginning of my name? I hear the b sound. Bott. So let's look at this first name. This is the letter F. Do you know, does F say b? No way. F says f. But I'm gonna check just to be sure. I'm gonna check the last sound. So I don't think this is right, but let's check the last sound. Think about my name first, Bott. What sound do you hear at the end of Bott? I hear the t sound. Let's look at this last letter. This is the letter M. Does M say t? No way. So you were right. This cannot be my name because it doesn't start with the b and it does not end in a t. Let's cross that out. Okay, let's check this one. Did you know these are the same letter? This is lowercase and this is uppercase. It must be the letter M, and you know what sound M says. Does Bott start with I don't think so. Let's check the last sound just to be safe. Do you know this letter? This is the letter A. A says ah. Does Bott end in ah? No way, cross that out. Okay, we're down to the last name. I really hope it's mine. Help me figure this out. Let's look at the first letter. This is the letter B. What sound does B say? B says b. Is that the same sound at the beginning of my name? Bott. Bott. It is the same. Oh, phew, so far we're off to a good start. But I'm not gonna assume that's my name because I still need to check the rest of the letters, especially the last one. B. O says ah, Bott. So far, so good. Definitely check the last sound. Bott. We are listening for the t sound. Let's see. What sound does T say? T says t. Bott. Bott. T. The beginning and the end match my name, and guess what? Because I know all my letter sounds, just like you will, I know the O matches too. This must be my name. So when you're looking for your name, Rocketeers, remember to first figure out if the first sound matches the first sound in your name, and then check to see if the last sound matches the sound in your name. So I know I used my last name, but you'll probably be using your first name. So definitely practice your first name. So now that we know how to recognize our name, we need to know how to spell our name and how to write our name. Parents and families, your child will probably need your help with this part. I'm going to give you guys some strategies to figure out how you can start getting your Rocketeer to write their name all by themselves. So, one of the most important things to remember, writing your name is really hard at the beginning. It takes a lot of fine motor skills. That means all these muscles in your hand. So your child's hand may get tired easily, but the more they write their name, the stronger their hand muscles will be. It also is really helpful to build muscle memory. That's why you should be having your child write their name every single day. They're going to build the habit and they're going to build the muscle memory of every single letter and the pattern that the letters are in for their specific name, which will help them in the long run when they get to school and have to do this independently. So one of the ways you can start practicing name writing with your child is by modeling how to do it. So you could give your Rocketeer a piece of paper or a whiteboard, whatever you have, and you should model how to write their name perfectly first for them to use and see while they're working. So we're going to use my last name again, Bot. If I'm the parent, I'm going to write this as a model. It also will probably help your Rocketeer if you write it bigger to start with. They'll be able to see the letters clearly and start to learn how to write each letter. So after you write the model, have your Rocketeer write it by themselves if they can. This itself is a hard skill, just copying, so they may need some help with this too. But over time, it will get easier and easier. So if this is the parent's version, then this is what the child will do. They're going to try their best to copy it. They might need some assistance. They might need you to hold their hand at first and physically help them make the letters in the right formation. They should do this at least 2 or 3 times at the beginning to build those hand muscles, the fine motor skills. And then towards the end of the summer, when they're getting really close to going to kindergarten, they should be able to start doing this part by themselves. Another great way to start at the very beginning, before they even copy, is to write their name in a highlighter. So use a highlighter or a light marker and write their name pretty big, just like this. And then the child should take a pencil and trace their name. A pen will be fine too, but just make sure it's not a big marker so they can actually copy and draw within the lines of the letters. This is something that we use at Rocket Ship. And I know you can't see the pencil, but this is an easier skill for your Rocketeer to do before they start copying on their own, especially if they're not used to any writing at all. So some ways to practice your Rocketeer writing their name: write it in highlighter first, have them write it on top with a pencil or a pen. You can write a model and have them do it on their own underneath. I would have your Rocketeer be doing this skill every single day to build that habit so that by the time school starts, they're able to do this totally independently. Another awesome time to practice your letters is with your child's name. So when they're done writing their name, have them go through and say each letter or maybe each letter sound. Then when they're spelling and they forget what letter comes next, if they remember the pattern because they're saying the letters, it will trigger their memory what letter comes next. So that after they're done writing, they would touch each letter and say the letter name like this: B-O-T-T. B-O-T-T. I hope this is helpful. And this should be really great practice for your Rocketeer.